Sanam Aloha. So I already presented a live stream on the new moon. It's on my channel, but I felt really called to come on and color in some of the lines here. This is an important new moon. So this new moon is the astrological new year, which makes sense because we come back all the way around the wheel to the zodiac sign of Aries, which represents new beginnings. So this is the human design system, which can add to the astrological conversation of this new moon. And there's lots of YouTubes, really good YouTubes out there on this subject already. So here's my 2 bits. So this is the transit chart for this new moon. So the new moon is in Aries, of course, but it's in the 25th gate. And this is the gate of spirit of the self, capital S self. And it meets up with Jupiter that activates the 51st gate, the gate of shock. So these 2 gates meet up to form an energy circuit called the channel of initiation. Right? So here's a better picture here. Right? So what's all this about? Well, this channel, right, of initiation or uniqueness is a bridge. This is a transit for all of humanity. This channel is a bridge between the personal willpower center, the red, right, what's colored in red, and then the G center, or the self, the higher self, and that's yellow. So this willpower center, the red center, represents tribal consciousness, which is the bargain. You do this for me, and then I do this for you. Tit for tat. This is tribal consciousness, and it's being mutated out of our human DNA. So we'll no longer be motivated to support one another in this way, you know, like a business deal. So collective and individual consciousness will remain, right? This is Aquarius, the collective. So all these circuits you can see, right? The 3740, that's the channel. The 2212, that's another channel. And the 2644 channels, right? They're not activated for this new moon, which is telling. And these are all tribal channels, okay? And only one is individual, and that's the 51st 25 that's being activated for this new moon. So this new moon energy is initiating us into a whole new state of consciousness. We're moving from one world to another world. So this is about stepping into our true power as an individual, and it's moving us from using our personal willpower, 3rd chakra, into the higher self, and this is our true power. So this bridge, right, that this transit is presenting itself, it reminds me of the Matrix. You know, when Morpheus says to Neo, right, you just have to free your mind and make the jump. Remember that? He had the jump from one building to the next in the Matrix. Well, the first time he failed, right? Because he was relying on his own willpower to free his mind, right? So it's like telling your mind, I need to free my mind. Mind, please free me. It's not going to work. It's like saying, I need more prison bars to free me from this prison that I'm in. It's not going to work. So this metaphorical jump, this is not a real jump, is a jump in consciousness. And it only works if you put your faith 110% into the divine. So what's the jump? It's our awakening, right? This is the 51st city, our awakening into universal love. Universal love is the 25th city. So there's no bargain here. You have to do this, tit for tat, with someone else to earn universal love. This is really a leap into our destiny path. It's a leap into our soul's mission. So let's look a bit closer to this chart to see what's pulling us back. Well, we have the shadow of constriction with the shadow of shock. So this is fear of suffering, right? Fear of suffering and fear of shocks that something bad will happen to us, right? It's all about not moving out of our comfort zone. And these 2 shadow patterns, the 51 and the 25, they're third lines. Do you see 51.3 and then 25.3? This means that they're very rooted in our fear of the material world, right? So the 51st shadow has us competing and comparing ourselves with others. The 25th shadow has us clinging to people and material objects to avoid facing our fears. So we have to transcend these fears and shadows for this next leg of the journey. And we need to shift gaining our security that we've been conditioned to do, using our mind and ego and outside authorities or money or our material possessions. We need to shift our getting our security from the material, from the mind, to the higher self, to the divine, right? So, okay. So we have to shift from our mind, right? Gaining our security from using our mind, to our higher self, the divine. That's the shift that we have to make. So this world is being dismantled before our very eyes because nothing in truth, right? Like these systems that we've relied on for hundreds of years, right? They're all coming down like the Titanic, right? The circus is leaving town. The tents are all coming down now, right? The clowns are dispersing like rats. So our higher self has always been our true place of security because it's the one thing that's real. The only thing that is unchanging, that was never born and will never die. That's our true place of security. It always has been. So I love that quote, about the bird on a branch. The bird doesn't fear the branch falling because the bird knows it has wings and can fly away, right? So we have to transcend our fears of the material world, and we have to stop giving our power over to it. Stop giving our full attention over to the material world and bringing it back inside. That's what the age of Aquarius is calling us to do. And Pluto coming into Aquarius soon for a little peek about what this is all going to be about the next 20 years. It's about taking our power back and bringing it back to where it rightfully belongs. So the 2551, this is the channel of initiation. This is the archetype of the spiritual warrior. Not the spiritual warrior, the spiritual warrior. So if you're a Kundalini Yoga teacher or took Kundalini Yoga teacher training, or you're a committed practitioner, this is the purpose of that technology, right? That 5,000-year technology is for now, the time we're in now. And it's to hone you into that white warrior for these dark, dark times. So the archetype of the spiritual warrior is to face death, and you can see the self node there is in the 28. And this is what we have to leave behind, right? Scorpio 28. And this gate represents the dark shadow of all the 64 gates. This is the dark shadow, right? And do we really face death? No, not really. Because as spiritual beings, we were never born and will never die. We're eternal. So what death? Well, it's the death of the ego. And Neptune spiritualizes us, right? Spiritualizes us. So it's in the 36, you see, that's Pisces. And this is the dark night of the soul, the 36. And Mars was squaring Neptune since October. Remember, it went into retrograde and it's been squaring, right? Neptune. This is the ego, Mars in battle with the divine. So that energy broke, 5 days ago? March 14th of this year, right? So this jump into your destiny, into the unknown, will challenge your ego, right? And it's going to bring up deep fears you probably didn't know you had. But you've been in battle already with your ego and the divine. What am I going to choose, right? Soul or ego? And if you try to use your own personal willpower with your ego in charge, then you're going to fall to the ground like Neo, right? So Jupiter says, because Jupiter's activating 51, says take the initiative towards your soul's mission. And if you don't, because Jupiter represents the law in the transit chart, well, then Saturn's going to come out and spank you, right? And this means keeping you in the 55, which is victim consciousness. This is a lack of abundance, which is a lack of spirit. So you'll find yourself blaming and complaining about your life with the many, many other people who identify with victim consciousness on this planet. There's, You know, there's no scarcity of the victims. You'll find them. So, you know, people are complaining and blaming that life's not staying the same. We need to go back to the old ways. We're evolving, and we can't stop this evolution for good or bad, right? So no, those not aligned with this new consciousness, they'll be weaned out, right? Evolution doesn't care about your feelings, your personal feelings. So we need to be more than ever to be flexible and adaptable now, right? Travel light and be the light, right? I'm just reading the chart. My channel's all about giving you the capital T truth, not feeding your ego, right? Plus I'm a 2/4 emotional projector. So the tarot card associated with this new moon is really interesting. It's the Emperor. This is from the Major Arcana, right? Number 4. This is the divine masculine. Right? So we all have these two energies within us, no matter if you are in a female form or a male form. And the 51 and Jupiter says that you're your own savior. No one's going to save you, not on the spiritual journey. The best we can do for one another is show the other the door. Here, go this way. This worked for me. Or share your experience. Look, I jumped and a net appeared and it worked good for me. Ultimately, each person must make that journey on their own, and it's going to look different for each person. So what you need right now is purpose and presence and determination, and be in alignment with these new energies. It's not about holding on to the old now. So the Emperor says it's time to boss up, right? Take the helm, be the leader of your own life. Ego's been driving your life way too long now. Right? It's time for you to take the wheel as a spiritual adult. So this new moon energy gives you the strength to go on your mission, to cross the bridge, right, over to the divine, to accept your soul's calling, to initiate action, and to surrender to your journey. Right? So all the words the ego doesn't like to hear are surrender, no. Soul purpose, no. Divinity, no. It's like water on the Wicked Witch, right? In Wizard of Oz. So you want to ask yourself this new moon, what do I stand for? What's my mission? What am I willing to rise up for? Right? This archetype is lost without something worthwhile to fight for. And how can you step into your power? Maybe you need to set some more boundaries in your life. Are you answering the call of your soul, or are you letting it go to voicemail over and over and over again, right? So these are really exciting times for those people that choose to move forward. And remember that you have everything you need. It's all inside you, right? So this is not the time to give up. And the shadow will want you to give up, will want to pull you back, right? This is your true power. And remember, the North Node is in the 27, and this is the gift of altruism. It's the gift of generosity. It's about giving of yourself, giving your gifts and your talents, contributing to this time that we're in. This is your soul purpose, right? So remember that my Soul Purpose Activation webinar series is probably going to be 8 hours plus, starts next week, and it's still 50% off for both webinars, right? A deal, a total deal. I know I'm a bit biased, but I'm excited about delivering this to people that have signed up. And it's ending soon, and you click the link, right, to learn more, and I'll need your birth information to calculate your chart. Also, all my social links are found below, and you can get your free chart there too, and you can get my free newsletter. You can sign up for that. Okay, so I'll see you soon in the next video. Take care. Satnam Aloha.